Hi, I'm Dave Crane, and welcome to Speak on Stage, a brand new show all about helping you to become a very effective speaker. Now, if you don't know what I do, then I speak. You've probably guessed that by the title so far. Traveling around the world, teaching people how to speak, motivating companies all around the world as well, until the lockdown. And it doesn't really matter what kind of business you're in, I think the lockdown has changed it for everybody. So certainly if you were in a bricks and mortar business, like having a shop, or if you were renting cars, or any other kind of business like that, the coronavirus has really put a stop to the way that you used to do things before. Also changed the way that you have a community, you relate to your staff, and you find your clients. So much of it is about going digital, and this show is about the mindset that you need for that, and also the ability and the skills that you need to be able to communicate effectively to get people to want to work with you and your brand. So over the next, in fact, every single day I'll be going live to share with you lots of tips and tools and techniques to help you move forward. Because right now, about 80% of the business that is done on the internet, the traffic is actually comprised of video. So if you're posting a lot on lots of different social media platforms, but your posts are somebody else's video that you share, or a video that you found of YouTube and you share, then that's great because you'll get traction, you get people commenting, you get people liking you and what you share, but they don't necessarily know anything about your brand or your business. That's okay if you've got a bricks and mortar job and making lots of money coming in. But if you found that there's a challenge and you want to actually use that relationship you've created online and turn it into actual finances, you might find a challenge because people don't perceive you as the posts that you make. If you're showing things like a cat that's stuck up a tree, rescued by a fireman who hands it back to the little old lady, and the caption is, "Isn't it amazing how it doesn't matter how tough you are, you care about the smaller things in life," yeah, that'll get a ton of people saying, "I love you and you're great and what a great thing to say to make my day better." However, if you're a plumber and you post that and you say, "Right, hire my plumbing," we'll say, "Well, I didn't know you did that for a living. I've seen no evidence that you're any good at it. You're a nice guy or a nice girl, but that's as far as it goes." And if you are a female plumber, then you've probably got an incredible niche that you can do a lot with as well. So I'll be sharing with you a ton of different ideas and techniques and ways that you can move forward to be able to grow your brand and make it really strong with Speak on Stage. Now, one of the things is I want to be able to get as much interaction as possible. We're going across a number of different platforms. So if you're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, or you're on, what else are we going out onto? Periscope and Twitter, then please feel free to connect and share your thoughts and comments. I'd love to know if there's a certain area about public speaking, about broadcasting that you want to know more about, then let me know. We're also tapping into the digital world. So if you're finding lots of challenges about going on to Zoom or creating a relationship with your team, we'll be sharing some ideas about that very soon in today's show. But also, that's part of what we do to make it a lot easier for you. So with all those different things going on, it's always great to connect to you, and we'd love to have your thoughts and your ideas, because as much as possible, that's what we're here to help. So one of the challenges about going out live is the fact that whenever you do anything, people will see it. So if you make a mess of it, that's true as well. Now the aim is we're going out live every single day, which is going to be, I'm broadcasting from Dubai, 10 o'clock in the morning in Dubai, which means if you're in the UK, it should be about 3 hours difference. So you're just getting your breakfast. And if you're in the US, you're probably fast asleep. And if you're in Australia, you're probably having your afternoon tea or dinner or something. So wherever you are around the world, don't worry. On your favorite platform, it will still be around, so you can catch us on YouTube. The best thing to do is subscribe or follow or connect or whatever your platform says to me. And that way you'll always know when I've done a new broadcast, you can catch up for it. I deliberately want to keep these relatively short, so about 10 to 15 minutes maximum, because I know you've got better things to do with your day, but what I want to do is be part of your day and contribute to you as much as I possibly can. So today, I want to be looking at a couple of things about working from home, especially if you're running a team. And this is a great thing that was on Inc. magazine, all about what Google suggests as 9 points you should consider whenever you're looking after your team or you're working from home. And these things are as follows, and you might want to take a pen and paper or just pause the video and make a note of these. First of all, team meetings are a priority. Make sure you connect to everybody. Don't leave anybody feeling like they're left out. Otherwise, it will come back to you because people do feel on their own, and it is a challenge to be separated, especially if you're used to having a cigarette or water cooler chats or just catching up on what Game of Thrones, mind you, that's a long time since we saw Game of Thrones, or whatever equivalent, insert here, TV show people are watching. Number two, show personal interest. It's not just about the job that people do. They want to know that you care about them, especially in a lockdown situation. And I know some people are talking about coming out of lockdown. We're no longer in quarantine. Some people are still going into it. But we're talking probably about a year or so until we see some kind of normality across the board, maybe even further. And that's talking about the new normal at best when it actually comes. Be present when you are there talking to people. Don't disappear onto your phones. Don't do something else. You're allowed to have a glass of water or a cup of coffee and enjoy that. But anything else that takes you as a distraction, people know. They're looking at you and they've got nothing else to look at. So if you're checking your Facebook at the same time as being in a meeting, the odds are people will know that you're doing it. Check in. Make sure that you check in. Let everybody say who they are and what's going on. I know they know who they are, but what have you been up to? How's life at home? How's the work going? Don't just talk about work, but talk about life-work balance. Get them with some empathy because that makes a huge difference for people. Recognize who your teammates are, not just by their picture, but recognize their personalities. Recognize the things that make them tick, the things that make them want to be part of a group. When people get recognition, it's a really important part of who they are. Without it, it becomes a really chilling and challenging way to experience who they truly are if nobody cares. Why go to work apart from get paid? And if that's the case, you just go to work to get paid, then maybe it's a great time to think about doing something else. Invite your colleagues' participation. If you're working on a project that doesn't necessarily involve other people, let other people know that it's going on. Get people to be part of your world as well as being part of their world. Because when you are on your own and you finish your team call and you go back to doing what you were doing before, it's really nice to know that other people are out there caring about you as well. Number 7, set team norms. If you're going to go on video together, go on video together. Do not do what I particularly hate, which is when people go onto the video, but then, especially on Zoom, don't open their camera or they phone in. And so you just got a number of their phone and you haven't even got the person there. On occasion, if there's no excuse, it's kind of, you can get away with it, but it makes a big difference. I certainly have a rule when I go to new meetings. I don't care who the client is. If you don't want to put up your camera, you are Darth Vader from Star Wars. You are telling me you don't think it's important enough for me to see who you are. Now that leads to a whole other things. You might say, yes, but Dave, that's not fair. Look, I'm a woman. I don't want to show who I am right now, or I haven't done my makeup, or I'm working for a cupboard, and behind me is all the towels and all the blooming mops and stuff. I get that. We will be talking about the best way to make a backdrop, the best way to have a digital backdrop or a real backdrop because it's part of your brand now. It's as important as when you go on LinkedIn and you look at your profile. If you still have above your picture that blue background with the sort of like lines on it, it shows you're not telling people what you contribute visually. That's why Instagram's popular, because it shows who people are visually. So think about that. Also, using the right medium. What do you want to do when you send a message to people? Do you want to send it as a text message? Do you want to give them a call? Do you want to phone them up? Does anybody phone anymore? Video shows you who people are. And not everybody wants to do that all the time. You can use Slack, you can use WhatsApp, you can use a number of different platforms, but choose one that everybody's happy with. So you can find everything. Because a lot of miscommunications can happen when you can't walk into somebody's office or pop over to their desk or take them outside for a quick chat. So make sure you do it all well. And that leads us on to number 9, make well-being a priority for your business. If you don't have well-being, then all you have is work. And nowadays, people don't have to work for you. They can work for anybody. I know if you just lost your job, you're thinking, oh my goodness, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean exactly that. You now have the ability, as long as you've got an internet connection and a laptop and potentially a microphone, to not only do video, but also to connect and work with people all around the world. We'll be talking about lots of different ideas for that in future episodes. But for meanwhile, make sure that having a well-being between you and your team is really a priority. Everybody counts. Don't leave anybody behind. So make sure as you run your meetings and you make sure that everyone's feeling all right, that you really, really do care, because they'll notice. you're enjoying the show, I'd love to know. Make sure wherever platform you're watching this on that you leave your comments. Good, bad, ugly. If you've got any questions to ask, then let me know. I will answer them in real time, or if not, I'll save them all up and we'll do a proper Q&A in the next episode. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know the areas about public speaking or online speaking or Zooming that you get into trouble with or you have a challenge with. Certainly, if 90% of people have a fear of public speaking, there's no way that suddenly becomes easier when you've got to suddenly go on video in front of strangers and share your backdrop with your world and all the things going on. One of the things I'll be teaching people in the coming episodes is how to think like a late night talk show host. Because if you are a late night talk show host, there's certain things they do really well. My favorites include Trevor Noah, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers. There's a ton of really amazing speakers. And there's a couple of things that they do really well. I'll give you a few tips right now. So you might want to have them in mind when you broadcast or you connect with people, or even just the next Zoom communication that you have with your own team or with another team, depending on having meetings all day long. So first of all, make sure that you get the Wi-Fi code. Now, I know that sounds like, well, I'm on Wi-Fi, Dave. What do you mean? The Wi-Fi code of your audience. Imagine walking into a building and you get your phone out and you're looking towards the internet and you're saying, right, what's a Wi-Fi code? Somebody tells you, and suddenly you can connect with the world. The same is true when you want to connect with an audience. Who are they? Where are they from? What's going on? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they under pressure? Do they find it comfortable to be on screen? Do they hate being on screen? Have they got a number of challenges going on in their private life or just the stuff that's going on in business? When you understand and you're able to connect with people on their Wi-Fi code, then that means that you're able to understand that everything you say reaches them. So instead of going like that, you're actually just going like that. Now the Wi-Fi code can change as you go through different parts of the meeting, but at least you know what to aim for if you got it from the very, very beginning. If you haven't, you'll always keep missing. And those are the meetings that when you're doing sales, you walk out and you say, well, we just didn't connect. Connecting on a Wi-Fi code was what you were looking for in the first place. And then you got to add things like feedback loops. Now, normally in front of a live audience, you can see, you can hear, you can feel what's going on. It's a bit different when you're doing online digital stuff. I'll be talking more about this in more depth in future episodes. But meanwhile, if you're finding this interesting and you want to know how to create a win with every communication that you have, then you've come to the right place. We'll be sharing this and more content in future episodes, so I hope you're enjoying it so far. And if you just joined us, welcome to Speak on Stage. My name is Dave Crane. This is Speak on Stage. Every single day we'll be sharing with you a whole load of tips and techniques and ideas for being able to run your business. And if you are on your own and you're wondering how do I manage to improve what I'm doing to get a job, then I'll be sharing with you communication tips, ideas, maybe not so much about writing a CV, but certainly about marketing yourself and improving your brand online. Because people will be checking, whether you're a freelancer or you're looking for more people, most people will check out your Facebook and will check out your LinkedIn, possibly your Instagram as well, to find out what kind of person you are. And if you say, I don't like being online, I don't like people checking on me, well, that's fine. But when you're in a global market of not only the vicinity and the location of where you are, like the city you live in, but now you're also competing with potentially 7 billion people online, do you really want to leave every stone unturned to see what could get you that little bit closer towards success, making finances, making connections, and building your business? Well, I'll be going through more of this when you check out my website, which is speakonstage.com. A ton of different modules there to help you with fear of public speaking, how to work a large audience, how to create content that people want to have, how to get your mind in the right place, and also all the different areas about corporate life. How to do better sales meetings, how to give great presentations, and also how to get your head in the right space before you go out and meet people. And we will be meeting people. I know you think right now this is it and you're stuck indoors. And in many cases, that would be kind of comfortable. But even in the US, 40% of people have a business that they can stay at home and work from. Everybody else doesn't. Doesn't mean you can't digitize it and you can't change it, but there are a number of different challenges. That one of the things I love about going online is it doesn't matter how old you are. Lots of gray hair, as you've probably noticed by now. Your age is irrelevant. Your ability to share ideas with people, your ability to be really effective when you connect with people, and the way that you care about people makes a huge difference. So always remember that. That's coming up next. I'm going to share with you a number of different things all the way through, and I make a number of videos that you might find interesting. And this brings us to the end of today's episode. So if you've enjoyed it, then let me know. If you haven't enjoyed it, then I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better episode that you might well enjoy a little bit more. It's called Speak on Stage, and you can connect with me on all the different platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Periscope and Twitter, and also on YouTube. You can get connections with me there as well. I'm on a number of different things, Instagram as well, and I'd love to connect with you and see how I can help you grow in your business, in your brand, and also get you over that little hump of being scared to speak on stage. So with that, I'm going to bring it to a close today. I'll be back same time tomorrow at 10 o'clock, that's Dubai time, and I'll also find out what time that is in your location. I'll show you different options of where you could be as well. So hope you enjoyed the show. All the very best. I'm going to leave you a couple of thoughts about what really happens when you get your head around being an effective public speaker. Have an amazing day. Make sure you check out tomorrow with a cup of coffee. Yes, I know it's my Christmas mug. Can you imagine soon I might actually be wearing a Christmas hat? We're not going anywhere, but you can be here. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. This is Speak on Stage. This is your time. You worked very hard to get where you are, an inspiration to many, a mentor, a rainmaker, and a successful boss. But the one thing you've never done well is now the one skill you have to learn: public speaking. Great leaders throughout time have always shown their power from the stage. Now is the most essential ability for anybody to be seen as a change maker, industry expert, high achiever, or thought leader. Do you have a fear of public speaking? Are you missing out? Does your tribe need a chief executive officer who can command and motivate from on stage? Is your message getting lost because you need to be able to present from conferences, events, and global forums? My name is Dave Crane. I've worked on stage for over 4 decades. I've done every kind of entertainment, and I train leaders around the world to find their voice, realize their power, and dominate their industry. I've worked alongside some of the smartest names and most respected business coaches in the world. I train world leaders, industry experts, and high achievers to speak. What do you need? Do you need to share an idea, a theory, a formula, or an invention? Do you need to position yourself among the best of your peers as a key voice to lead into the digital age? Do you need to elevate and grow your personal brand? Are you ready to share stages and concepts among the most innovative minds, producing viral videos and great speeches on a global scale? Most leaders who are great communicators fail with a microphone because they don't know stagecraft. They don't know how to engage, entertain, and motivate large crowds. But when you do know how, it's just like breathing.